Although this looks patched up now, this is how Villegas believed the robbery took place. As you can see, the screws are undone, one's even missing, and the metal was lifted where the robber could create a hole to get inside. The Fresno Food Expo has more than 100 vendors and over 850 buyers. I'm Francesca Larocca. Tonight on the KMPH Fox 26 News, we'll show you everything from black living water to sweet potato spirits. Just before 3 p.m. today, 2 plainclothes officers from the Magic team approached 3 suspicious individuals. After one of the officers conducted a pat-down search with one of the individuals, he felt a metallic object in his left waistband. In this 26-page report, the Fresno grand jury challenges the leadership of the Parlier Unified School District. I'm Francesca Larocca. Coming up next, we'll hear from the leadership. This surveillance video from early Sunday morning shows the man wearing a t-shirt, hat, and cargo shorts inside the business, south of Fresno, for less than a minute.
He might have been here before because he went to some exact product that was on display.
That product? One of these, a battery jumpstart kit. It's worth about $120. The guy took off with 8 to 10 of them. He also grabbed a computer tower. But it's not what he took that's notable, but rather this, how he got inside. This is what it looked like on the other side.
As soon as I pulled up, the wall was pulled apart and the insulation was just all over here on the ground. So you can tell it was just pretty torn up. Pieces of plaster still on the floor outside. Some screws still sticking out. He had the right tools. He knew exactly what bit to use. Once Villegas wrote a note to his fellow neighbors, he realized he wasn't alone. Even his neighbor across the street went as far as to build a 3-layer fence to keep the crooks out. Zim Industries was even hit by crooks who would pull over along Highway 99.
Oh, they were just cutting it too easily cut and snipping, digging under it and rolling it up, and they're in fairly easy. In the long run, everybody has to pay for it. Somebody has to pay for all the thefts. Personally, I've had theft in my own home, and to see it happen to the business that I run, it's disappointing.
What can black living water do for your body?
It replaces the minerals we do not get in food.
If you're more into caffeine than minerals, Producers Dairy offers cold brewed organic French roast. Sticking with the coffee theme, another Fresno-based company has been peddling coffee from Thailand for 5 years.
This is something that started to get them off opium and growing opium in Thailand.
More than 100 vendors want to get the attention of 850 buyers. This is a first appearance for Papa's Produce.
You know, buyers change and people change, so we're just trying to make sure that our face is out there and our name of our company is out there.
Everywhere you walk, you can find cheese samples. Peluso cheese hails from Los Banos.
Compare ours with theirs, because we push cheese and we sell cheese that's 100% milk.
When it comes to hard liquor, Corbin makes vodka, gin, and blended whiskey from sweet potatoes.
The 4th generation wanted to do something different, so he started distilling, working on the farm during the day and distilling at night until he got the recipe right.
It's an opportunity for people who grow produce and spirits and everything in between to showcase their best to hundreds of buyers. A gathering exhibitors hope will produce new business relationships. In Fresno, Francesca Larocca, KMPH Fox 26 News. The grand jury report states since June of 2013, Parlier Unified administrators and trustees have traveled throughout California and across the country, charged thousands of dollars in restaurant meals, increased administrative staff, and paid millions to consultants and programs, and gave themselves raises. A report that Parlier Superintendent Gerardo Alvarez believes is tainted.
I think I know where the source came from is some disgruntled employees that were.
So you're saying disgruntled employees are behind this?
I believe a lot of it is from these disgruntled employees.
Alvarez says it's an employee that currently has a lawsuit against the district. However, that still doesn't address the fact that the grand jury discovered hundreds of thousands were spent sending trustees, the superintendent, and his top administrators to out-of-district conferences and spent thousands on restaurant meals.
I believe that there are some things we have to work on, and I will take ownership for the expenses. It wasn't intentional, it was just long working hours. But like I said, I'll own up to it, and if the board looks into it and they determine that, hey, you know what, and maybe it was a little bit overboard, well, I'll be happy. I'll own up to it, and I'll be happy to refund that.
The grand jury states many times the board would approve their trip expenses after the trips had taken place. In particular, the grand jury questions 2 trips to Harvard University in Massachusetts, which cost the district nearly $100,000.
There's no way for us to move forward unless we take action and implement some of these.
But yet that same class is offered at UC Davis and could have saved tens upon thousands of dollars.
Of course, that's very well taken, but when you have the instructor, the actually person who created instructional rounds and the writers of the book offering that course, I mean, we felt like it was much more beneficial for us to get it from the source, the experts who actually wrote this book and know how to implement it.
But when you're dealing with taxpayer money, we all want a trip to Boston, but when you can go to UC Davis and get the same exact course.
Of course, and that's a very well point taken. That's where we have to look at our policy.
I'm going over the travel expenses they brought up. They're talking about $68,000 for 44 employees to visit Pasadena for days.
And and that's a valid point. I think there's a lot of loose ends that we still have to fix in this district.
The grand jury also discovered Parliard board members and the superintendent worked together to cut the number of its public meeting and reduce time allowed for public comment.
Every single finding and recommendation will be analyzed by the board to make sure we either agree with the recommendation, or if not, we figure out what the right recommendation is for our district to make sure we address every single one of those issues in that report.
Francesca Larocca, KMPH, Fox 26 News.
Hi, Victoria. Sleeping like a little angel.
Stacy Tresoris is in bliss following the birth of her baby Victoria Sunday afternoon.
I always wanted a girl. I had a son. I get to do the hair, the baking, the coloring, the fun little Disney princess stuff, so I am ready.
But never did she expect she'd get the joy of a baby girl, times 3. There's Victoria and Stephanie and Alexis. The girls are the 5th set of triplets at this downtown Fresno hospital in the last few weeks.
Like as soon as they cry, they already won me over, so.
Father Oscar Tresoris works as a military recruiter, but is taking a break to help out with his new favorite troop.
Out there, I'm hearing that, this might be a little bit tougher than combat, so. We'll see how that goes, but I'm ready. I'm ready for that challenge. There's a lot of stuff that I've gone through in life, and I think this just made everything whole,
Tresoris say they had undergone 1 month of fertility treatments and knew there was a possibility for multiple births, but they never imagined they'd have this much success this early.
At first it was just shock, and then it was processing how I was going to make it work.
Colleagues I work with, they say when I go big or go home, so I followed the orders, I guess.
A new assignment, rewarding like never before.
I love you. I take care of you, okay?
In downtown Fresno, Francesca Larocca, KMPH, Fox 26 News.